Play. It's available on Spotify. It's available everywhere.
All right, smooth. So, what is it that you hope to do with your music on a personal level and a professional level?
Personally, of course, I want to provide for my family. First and foremost, I want to be able to just wake up and go to the studio and do music all day and get paid. And on a larger scale, I would like to use music platform to just kind of clean people's mentality from the music that they hear now. I want to, in a sense, be a filter for the other stuff because I like the other stuff too, but that other stuff, in a sense, makes me want to do the things that I do, so that we can all be in the game together. So I want to change lives. I want to, I want to be that voice when you wake up in the morning, if you're sad and you need something to listen to, if you're happy, you need something to listen to, if you want to party, you need something to listen to, whatever it may be. I would like to be that voice.
So, what influence have you seen your music make so far, locally and further?
I feel like when people get around me, as far as the other artists is concerned, they know that I do clean music. And when I say clean, I'm more or less talking about the content and not just the profanity and the sexually explicit things and things of that nature. I'm talking about clean, period. I just speak cleanly, regular. I'm just talking really. The influence I've seen from other artists is they want to do clean music as well. Maybe not all the time, but they do want to have the ability to write raps without using profanity. And some of them do come to me and ask how I do that. And it's not really a formula. It's just I keep in mind that my parents listen to my music. and that's as real as it gets. So, I had music. Of course, I've had music that I was cursing before, and they liked it. But the one thing that they pointed out was, oh, you said a curse word here, even if it was just one.
Thanks.
Even if it was just one. So I thought to myself, why not just take that one or two words out and just make it all the way clean? So the influence I've seen is just people wanting to do clean music. And maybe not necessarily all their music like mine, but they want to have that in their repertoire that they can do it because they see that the things that I've done as far as shows and stuff, only clean music is allowed in those kind of places. So, you can go to the club and things of that nature, but if you want to do schools and you want to do colleges and stuff like that, it would behoove you to have clean music.
So, give us a little bit more insight on the music industry in Savannah. How is it showing you any love? Is it showing any of these other artists any love? How can we do better with the music industry in Savannah in relation to hip hop and rap?
I believe to a person we all get love as far as when we're out in public and we're at certain events. People give us love. People hear our music. People know our names. But I say on a grand scale, we just need. Really, I don't know. It's a mystery that everybody's trying to figure out. What's the key to, getting that success, even on just really on a local level, because to be honest, there's a lot of talent here, and to be honest, we probably could go other places and set up shop and progress, but I don't know what it is about people in Savannah, artists from Savannah, but we really want to do it here because we know that once you get that love in Savannah, your hometown, you can go all over the world, but you can always come back. Right. And you can always make money, and you can always have a fan base, and you can always have love. You can go all the way around the world, but if you can't come home, then sooner or later, it's people are going to be looking like, yeah, you can go here and go there, but you can't even go home.
Right.
And eat and produce and provide and help other people, get out of their situations as well. So I feel like we just need more promotion, more communication between the artists and the DJs and the promoters and the designers of flyers and all these things like that, the marketing. Everybody just needs more communication, really. I feel like that's the key for any one of us to, I guess, break through that threshold. And of course I would want it to be me, but it could be anybody.
Right.
I don't hate on any artist in Savannah. It
Right.
could be any artist break through, because if they break through, I break through. That's
All
how
facts.
I feel about it. And if I break through, I'm going to help them break through.
Right.
So that's just how I feel. So we just need more communication, in my opinion.
That's real. That's real. That's when you want to see your team eat. When you eat, everybody eat. I can respect that.
Yeah.
So, top choices of artists you've either worked with or heard their music in Savannah.
Top choices.
And you can include yourself.
I mean, of course I'm gonna include myself, but I have to shout out to the Indigos. They had a lot of artists in there. You got a man Tune Out. You got Kiera. You got my man Bobby. You had Bach. You got Kwame.
Kwame.
There are a lot of great artists over there. I used to be over there. Shout out to them. You got Clay Hodges. He's a great artist. I did mention Bach.
Mm-hmm.
My homie Onion. Shout out to Onion, man. He's more on the street side, but he's really good. He just introduced me to his music not too long ago, and I was really feeling it. People that I like. I mean, I like a lot of things. Like I like Cap Street Hershey. I like I'm trying to figure out the guy's name, man.
I had to go on back and
the guy that made the Sweet Sensation song.
Sweet Sensation.
I can't think of his name at the moment, but I know his rap group is TRC.
Okay.
But I like them. Let's see, who else do I like? Who do I have? I like everybody that represents 103. Shout out to 103. That would be me, Jay Savage, Lil Snoop. Shout out to Snoop, man. He just put out a mixtape. There's so many. There's really so many. Moot the Problem. Yeah, I like him. I do like him, Jazz. Shout out to him. He puts a lot of freestyles and stuff up on Facebook, and they always fire. Okay. I share pretty much everything that I see on the book from any artist. So I don't really know everybody's name, but I support everything.
Okay.
I support everything. Because I know that any one of us could break through the threshold. So I just want to say that I was a part of it on the ground, in the beginning, like I was supporting it then, and I'm going to continue to support it. So I support everything, really.
Awesome, then. So have you performed outside of Savannah?
When I lived in North Carolina, I performed there twice.
Awesome.
And I performed in Waycross.
Okay, cool deal. So when's your next performance?
My next performance is Tuesday. I believe that's December 5th.
December 5th.
At the Topaz Lounge. One of my buddies, Fire Prince. Shout out to Fire Prince. He's having a concert, and I'll be opening up for him.
What though?
Yeah.
Hey, I might have to follow through. Pooler is a journey, but hey, it's all love and support.
Yeah, Pooler is right off the airport exit. When you go, like you're going to the airport, and it's right on the way, right on the right when you get off the exit. It's a new little spot.
Cool deal then. So let's jump into this topic. We're still waiting on Brooke. She's coming from work, so give her some leeway this time. She's not just late for the heck of it. We're going to be talking about the evolution of hip-hop tonight. From its humble beginnings in Bronx, New York. That's where I was coming from. Smooth said that was too far back.
Only because I feel like you and I can have a discussion about that, but if we want to have a discussion with the people, we have to start at a time where I feel like people know more hip-hop. And I feel like that's like 90s and above. Because the things you're talking about is like the late 80s.
Yeah.
And it was, even then, that was just a different era of music. It was more fun, and, you know, you had all different kinds of music. You had the breakdance and stuff, you had the party stuff, and you had the street stuff, and you had the positive stuff. You had everything. I mean, you have that now, but back then it was, everything was prevalent equally.
Right.
Everything had its own space, and everything was equally in its place. Now it's kind of, you know, one thing gets a lot, and another thing gets a little. But during that time, you know, they might not know the artists from that time, is basically what I'm saying. Because I'm thinking we should start with, you know, Big, Jay-Z, Wu-Tang Clan.
But it seems like that's what you just said, from where rap was, you know, more positive and more uplifting. It was a party. It got kind of dark in the early to mid 90s, and it turned violent and really deadly.
I feel like that's what was going on in these neighborhoods.
It was always going on though, because that's why I had to write out my notes. Because in the breaks they were talking about, you know, just the hard knocks of life at that time. So it wasn't like rap was always like, yeah, we're gonna have a party. Like, it sounded like a party, but they were talking about like hard times. Yeah. And then it just, along with the message, the music itself got dark, the tones got dark. When you think about Hail Mary from Tupac, like that whole song, without even hearing the lyrics, it just sounds like you're stepping into a graveyard.
Yeah.
So it's like, why the music itself got dark, and it was a portrayal of the times, but what was the music affecting and influencing the times, or was the times influencing the music?
I would say the times was influencing the music, and I would say that certain types of music was promoted more, and that's why I feel like that's why you would think that way, that music turned a certain way, because I feel like that's what was being promoted, and that is what was being presented to the masses. I believe there was all type of music, from the positivity and everything else, during every time, all time of hip hop.
Right.
But I feel like as far as the promotion is concerned, in the beginning, of course, it was cool to promote everything, because you kind of want to see what was going to do what. And then once they figured it out, okay, it seems like they want to have fun. And a lot of them are, you know, of the less fortunate. So, you know, that's the kind of stuff they want to hear. And the violent things is the stuff that a lot of them was seeing. So when they heard it in the music, it wasn't surprising. It was almost like, okay, well, I see that too. It became a relation. Like, okay, that's going on in his neighborhood, it's going on in my neighborhood. It kind of, it indirectly kind of brought us together a little bit. Yeah. You know, kind of, sort of. Because then we kind of realized, oh, you know, them over there on the other side of the world, they're going through the same stuff too. Yeah. You know, so in a sense, it did connect us a little bit.
So do you, okay, this is off topic, off my outline, but it is relative. From NWA with their Straight Outta Compton album and their most famous song about the police.
Right.
Do you think that it directly correlates to the Black Pride movement that was initiated, and you saw the groups like Public Enemy really showcasing pride for being black, and, you know, Afrocentric pride? Do you think they're directly correlated, or are they two completely separate things?
I think they're both showing pride, but for different things. I think that NWA was showing pride for, you know, where they lived and things like that. You know, because of course, you go around with people that you live around.
Yeah. And
I feel like Public Enemy was promoting something on a higher level, maybe of like mental thought. It was more or less, NWA was talking about the physical, where we live at, what we're doing, how we're doing it. Public Enemy was more or less talking about what we should be doing, what's not happening. You know, they were pointing out different things, but it was all in the same bubble to me.
Right.
You know, they were really one and the same. You just had Public Enemy more or less talking about the mental, and NWA was more or less talking about the physical. You know, if you close your eyes and listen to NWA, you can feel like you're walking through a neighborhood seeing these things. If you close your eyes and listen to Public Enemy, you might feel enlightened or feel some kind of joy or some kind of, or maybe even hate, you know,
right.
but it'll invoke something. So I feel like they were both equally good, just in two different lanes.
So, Public Enemy, KRS-One, Tribe Called Quest, Common, they were all mental rappers who promoted Black Pride during the early 90s, and then we went back to like this violent era in 95, 96 with the whole East Coast, West Coast beef. So why is it that...
It's marketable.
Well, you took my perspective on it.
Unfortunately, it is marketable. And when you think about all the things that could branch off into, all the different industries that the negativity branches off into, it's always going to outweigh the industries that the positivity can branch into.
So why is it, is that something that affects us? Because I mean, I'm not going to say that I sit up here and read all the gossip magazines.
I don't either.
Right. But why is it so prevalent in our society that we promote violence and the degradation of our culture?
I believe it's a lot of people, that's just what they grew up seeing and experiencing. It was a violence of a different kind. It was family. It was your brothers. Could have been your parents, it was your cousins, it was your aunties. And black people, I don't know why, but even when we play, it's kind of violent in a sense, how we, you know, hit each other, or even verbally how we speak to each other. It's all kind of violent, even in a playful manner, it's still violent, you know. So, I don't know. I do not know. I just feel like that stuff was just more marketable. That's just what it was, like. The Tribe Called Quest and those guys are cool and they made cool music, but maybe they didn't dress a certain way, or maybe they didn't do interviews a whole lot, or maybe they didn't travel as much as these other guys that's gonna be in every club, in everything, all the time, everywhere, until you can't get rid of them. You know, these other guys, they just let their music speak. And
so basically, the business corrupted hip hop.
Yeah. Because you gotta look at the artists. The artists are gonna look at what's hot, and they're gonna say, okay, we want to be like that. So, if the people promoting the music want the music to stay what it is, they gotta promote that. So that the newer artists will always say, I gotta be like that if I want to be on that level. Because there are plenty of artists that don't do that,
right?
But you don't really see or hear them,
right? Because
overall, the people that's promoting all this stuff, that's not what they trying to paint. You know, they want to keep it where it is because they feel like that's the most marketable, it's the most profitable. So
do you think that how can I describe it? Because I want to put it in a sense that the music industry can change the preferences of its audience, because we look at
people can change it. It'll take the people to change it. It'll take the people to say, okay, we don't want to listen to that anymore. We want to listen to this over here. It's going to take a lot of people at one time to say, we want to make this change. Now, of course, you hear it all the time in small pockets.
Right.
Of people saying, we want to do this, we want to do that with the music. But it's going to have to be on a big scale. It's going to have to be a lot of people. It's even going to have to be other artists saying, we don't want to jam that no more. Right. Y'all can make that music, and that can be over there, but as far as how we're going to be represented in society, we don't want to be represented like this anymore. You know, so
how do you think Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole were able to break through?
They were able to break through because those guys are wordsmiths, and those guys can rap really good.
But there are some other wordsmiths as well, and, you know, as dark as his music is, I really like Hopsin and Logic as well. Like, when I listen to them, they're very technical.
Yeah.
So why isn't that they have the same type of popularity? What is it? I don't know. Like, what is it about their style?
I think it's just more relatable to the common person. Like, I guarantee there are mothers and fathers and older people that know Kendrick and J. Cole, but couldn't tell you who Hobson was.
Not a lot of people.
A lot of those people, you know, they're just relatable. I feel like, and I know Hobson makes songs that are relatable too. I guess it's just really pick and choose. It's really the people at the top picking and choosing, because a lot of times you can have, there might be 10 Kendricks in the game, but he's the one getting it right now. You know what I mean? There might be 10 of them, and they know it's 10 of them. You know, it's 10 J. Cole, it's 10 all of them. You know what I mean? But we're only going to get 1 or 2 of them to shine. And that's just how it's going to go.
Brookity Brooke. Hey. Brooke is in the building. Everybody say hello to Brooke.
I have arrived.
And we have Connie in the building. Supporting Smooth. Do we have her mic on? Hold on. Brooke? Let's see. Say something for me, Brooke.
Hello.
I can't. You might have to slide on over here with me, Brooke. Come on and get cozy with me, Brooke. We started into our conversation. And I guess now would be a good time to take a pause. And there we go. And there we go.
Hello,
Perfect.
listeners.
I can I can hear her. I can see her. Perfect. What's the time?
All right, so since we're midway through, just want to remind you that you're listening to Real Talk with Brooke and Monisha. We have our special guest, Smooth. We are WRUU, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul.
And our PSA for tonight is from the Uncommon Collective. The Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah presents the Sounds and Spirits concert series featuring Uncommon Collective, playing a mix of music genres including holiday favorites. The group's members include harpist Kristen King, vocalist Trey Gurley and J.J. Collins, guitarist Bill Smith, mandolin player Corey Chambers, and bassist Mark Chesniow. The concert will take place on Saturday, December 9th at 7 p.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah on Troop Square. For more information, visit uusavannah.org. All right, let's jump back into this conversation. So we have made our way up to the East Coast, West Coast beef and why violence is more prevalent than lyricism. That's a word, I think.
We'll make it a word.
There we go.
It is a word. Lyricism is a word.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
So
I declare it now. It's officially a word.
There we go. So, Brooke, you had some artists that you listed with positive messages. And I also had those same artists with negative messages. We haven't even gotten into the female rappers category yet. So what say you, Brooke? Okay. Well, while she's getting organized over there from work, that's a hard-working woman right there. She did take note of Tupac. And when I jumped in the car this morning, the first thing that I heard on the radio was Tupac, "Keep Your Head Up." And I was like, oh, this is perfect for tonight, because Tupac was, I don't know, like he was like the Black Jesus of his time. Cause
he just represented all sides. He represented that gangster side, you know, and he represented the, you know, I guess more, I would say, spiritual side, you know, tapping into yourself and, you know, putting value into yourself and other people. He did it all. You know, he did the gangster stuff and he did the cool stuff. Yeah.
I have to I have to I respect Tupac as a rapper. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying anything negative about him, but let's be honest. You know, there were some songs where he was extremely violent, and he promoted a very sexual lifestyle.
Right.
And let's not forget NWA. I mean, they definitely, we saw, I don't know how many of you didn't see Straight Outta Compton, but we mostly all saw Straight Outta Compton, and that was the lifestyle that they led, and we understand now why Eazy-E died from AIDS. Like, this was the lifestyle that they chose. Here she go.
Are we gonna get deep?
I knew she was coming with it.
Yeah, that's the whole.
If we're gonna speak on Eazy-E and AIDS, we're gonna we're gonna get into Suge Knight, and we're gonna get into all the backhanded things they were doing in the industry during that time.
Right.
So I'm not gonna say that Eazy-E contracted AIDS because of his lifestyle as a rapper.
Me neither.
I was trying
Because they all led the same lifestyle. And then, even in the movie, the way they depict it, there's actually they did another movie. I don't know what its name, but it has Snoop Dogg, and it was basically a retraction to Straight Outta Compton, basically Snoop Dogg and Suge Knight's side of the story. They aired it, I don't know the name of it, I have to Google it, but yeah, it was a totally different perspective than what we saw. They left out the bad that Dr. Dre was abusive.
Well, we got that from Michelle's story.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's a lot wrapped up into that, and a lot of shadiness from Suge Knight. Of course, I don't know all the details because I wasn't there. We can only go by what we research and what we're told, but yeah, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that. His lifestyle led to him contracting AIDS, and even in the movie, the way they depicted it, he contracted AIDS right after his altercation with Suge Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when he started getting sick, and everyone started seeing the differences. But on that same note, although NAA, they portrayed that lifestyle, that rugged, that sexual womanizers,
thugs.
Yeah,
yes.
Basically.
We are against those thugs.
They were also a voice for their people during that time, because that was a time when police brutality was at an all-time high, especially in LA. So they used what was dope about them is they did use their platform as a means of speaking out against the injustices that African Americans were subjected to at the hands of police. So that's why I put them in my positive category. I'm all about NWA. I want to go back to Tupac real quick.
Go for it.
Same deal. He did have those. He had his thug moments, but
he had thug life tatted on him.
Right.
But you have to realize that he was a product of his environment. That's him speaking his truth and what he went through, and showing that you can rise above that. You don't have to stay here. You don't have to stay in this place. You can do better. You can take your talent, cultivate it, and make something of yourself. You don't have to remain in that state of being. But at the same time, I feel like Tupac was very uplifting in the majority of his lyrics. Some of them I feel go over, and I had a printout, go over people's heads, but you have to really, yeah, definitely, yeah. You have to dig deep into his lyrics.
I think they tried to add, they attempted, I don't think it worked, but they tried to add to the definition of thug. I don't think they tried to change it necessarily. They wanted to keep what people thought of as far as the negative part, so that people could, in a sense, respect them. But they wanted to add the intelligence and the spirituality and all that stuff on top of it. Like, yeah, I might, smack you up or something like that, but I can also, have a good conversation with you, and we can also build too.
Right.
I think they were more or less trying to say, we're everything. I'm happy sometimes, I'm mad sometimes. I'm seeing good stuff sometimes I see bad stuff. It just seems like society turned to the bad stuff, maybe because society was seeing more bad stuff than the good stuff they were talking about. So they just gravitated toward the bad stuff, and that's the stuff that got uplifted. And they looking at it like, okay, well, that's the stuff that's making us money, so we got to go with that.
But do you think that rappers have a responsibility to monitor their brand and their personalities, really? Because no matter how much they say it, and I saw Cardi B go off on somebody about that, they're role models.
You think rappers are role models?
Rappers are role models.
I don't think so.
Rappers are some of the only fathers some of these kids will ever see.
I think they're just public people.
But do they have a responsibility to portray the right image?
No, because people don't have to follow them, and people don't have to listen to them, and people don't even have to pay attention to them at all. I feel like a person can be who they want to be and how they want to be it, but it's up to this other person. That's their 50%. That's something that I picked up in church. You know, we can handle our 50%, and the other 50% is stuff that we can't control. And that is what people gravitate toward. So if you put two rappers on the stage and one guy's clean, makes good stuff, and then you have this other guy who's totally opposite, if they go to the other guy, is it his fault, or can you blame the crowd for saying maybe this is what y'all relate to more? So it's equally on y'all as it is on him. He's merely portraying or trying to portray who he is or wants to be. You know, it's up to the person listening to say, I believe it or not. I want to follow that or not. You know, even though there's that stuff gets promoted more, it's still up to the person to say, you know, that's cool for them, and I can identify that that's them, and I can listen to it and love it, but that's not me.
Right.
That's not my life. That's not my world. I don't gotta live like that. I don't have to speak like that. You know. It's up to the person at the end of the day. I feel like once you get to a point, I feel like rappers have to, in a sense, not necessarily watch what they say, but just be mindful of the consequences and things that can happen based on what they say. Because you always want to give an artist the freedom to do and say what they want. But they just have to understand on the other end, okay, well, I'm going to do this, and this is what's going to happen. You know, the greatest saying my mom ever said was, for every action there's a reaction. So, you know, the action is you choosing to be who you are, and the reaction is however people choose to react to you being who you're trying to be.
So do they all have to have this rags to riches story to...
No, I just feel like that is like the most marketable story. You know, a kid that grew up with... A kid like me, for instance, had two parents and two grandparents. I lived in Georgetown. Lived on the south side. My story is not really, my first 18, 19 years of my life really isn't that really interesting to somebody that's, you know, had less than me.
Right.
And in our community, you could say that a lot more people had less than what I had, and I didn't feel like I had a lot. But to somebody else, so he lived on the south side. He went to Georgetown and went to Windsor, you know. So it's just that stereotype. But, you know, I don't know.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Still feel the way I feel, but
yeah,
makes sense. What you got for us, Brooke?
I don't know. I just feel like I agree with both. I agree with Smooth when he says, you know, ultimately it's up to individuals to make their own decisions. But the problem with today's society is...
They have a problem making their own decisions.
No one can make their own decisions, and everybody wants to have a scapegoat for why things aren't going the way they feel they should. Yes. But the thing is, everyone's life is not going to go the same. Like, everyone's not going to be successful. That's just what it is. You know? So, but me being me, I feel that black artists as representatives ultimately of the black community, who we're already shunned in society, why not try to make a more positive influence? Because you know these kids are watching. You know they're out here trying to emulate every single thing you do because you're on TV. They want to be on TV. So what did he do to get here? I want to do that same stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're thinking. And then that goes back to what we were discussing last week about the guidance. You know, a lot of kids, the TV is all they have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not going to say that it's negligent parenting, even though in a sense it
You
is.
gotta put blame on the TV.
Huh?
You gotta put blame on the TV itself.
That's true.
The child does not have a choice what's on the television, necessarily.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying?
But we have a choice.
They can always choose to show. They choosing to show what they want to show.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, this is
the radio
true.
stations are choosing to play what they want to play. You and I, we all know that there's other music out there than Future and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's like they're choosing to play that.
For the
and these are grown people playing these songs for the kids.
That's true.
Yeah.
So they got to be at blame too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the 50% is the artist being who they are. The other 50% is everything else that surrounds them. Because there are plenty of thugs and these guys that don't get no play at all because they're that way, and people don't like it. So other people just, I guess, do it better than others. You know, but half of it is the artist trying to display their realness, and the other half is these TV stations and the radio stations say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna play that," even though I know this is other stuff over here. We're gonna play that. Oh yeah, I know you're talking about guns, whatever. We're gonna clean it up, and we'll just play it because the kids like it. You know, the kids like it. You know what I mean? Even though there's plenty of music that they don't have to clean up, that's all positive. They could just play freely all day. Artists like me out here all day, ready to, you know, have their music out here. But I'm not talking on the things that you hear on the radio. I'm not talking on that level. So people probably don't even hear it because of that. If that's what you listen to every day, indirectly, even if you don't live that life or know anybody live that life, you think that that's what this genre is. So if you hear something else that's not that, you don't think that that's what it is.
Yeah.
Quick question for you. Would you like to be a role model?
Yes. Oh.
Cool deal. So let's get into this female rapper's topic.
Wait, before we get...
it's like 9:40 and we still got to play his song.
Okay.
You know, we could do this all night. We might have to go up to 2 hours, Dave.
We may have to do, hey. Okay. We may have to do part 2 of this.
Yes.
The way we
do
did
part 2.
Yeah.
Bring Smooth back. Bring Smooth back.
Encore.
Yeah, because I just feel like, you know, I've been rapping since I was 13 years old. Started out in a big 20-man group. Whole neighborhood rapping, and it came middle down to 4 people. That group was Fresh to Death. Fresh to Death evolved to 4 Deep. 4 Deep turned into Do For Self, and then, you know, I became a solo artist after all that. So, and I've done all kinds of raps. I've done from Bootsy to Lecrae. You could find songs where I sound like Bootsy. You can find songs where I sound like Lecrae. I've ventured through it all. I've seen a lot. So that's why I say it is on the artist to a degree once you get to a certain level. You know, if nobody's paying attention to you, you do what you want. Nobody's paying attention to you. You do what you want. But if you're the big artist and you are going on TV and you are doing all that and this is what you want to do, then I feel like as an artist, you should be mindful. I can't tell you what to say. You're an artist. Nobody can tell you what to say. But just be mindful of what I'm saying is affecting people in this way. And if you're okay with that, then it is what it is. But if you're not, then, you know, you have to make an adjustment.
Cool deal. So, more into the degradation of our society and how hip-hop influences that, we got on the topic.
Moses wants me to argue on
yes,
the radio.
I told you we were gonna be debating on this topic. I told you that. So we got promiscuity and the basically just the abuse of women and what is it?
She's gotta have it.
Yeah. But you had a point, cause what was your point about how women are portrayed in hip hop? Because then I'm gonna come in on the other side.
Not so much of how they're portrayed, but how they portray themselves. Because ultimately, we know it's 2017 sex.
The ones
sells.
that's successful, by the way, because there are
True.
some female rappers that don't do that, but they just aren't on that level either.
That's true.
Yeah.
So it's the ones that's being put on that pedestal. That's being the way that she's about to describe.
What's the girl that raps with Chance? She's really good.
Like Rhapsody?
Yes, her. She's really good.
I like 3D Nate. You never heard of 3D Nate, you need to go look her up. She's
Who?
the illest female to me.
Who?
3D Nate.
3D Nate.
Go check her out. She is the illest female to me.
3D Nate.
3D Nate.
Y'all, I'm going to go back and review my
3D
live.
Nate.
Perfect.
Go check her out.
What you got for me, Brooke?
You know me, I'm always going to dig deep and correlate slavery to modern day society because we're still living the same life.
Mm-hmm.
So the way women are portrayed in hip hop, and this goes back to Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown. I know I had Nicki Minaj down, but you know that's just the present. She's only an evolution of what they started. So
and it changed to that because before that you had Queen Latifah and MC Light
and that's where we're gonna start.
Shantae Renee and people
right,
like that,
right.
So.
We had the positive female rappers, and I guess somehow that wasn't good enough. That was, you know, the positive. What I've noticed throughout the years is the positive rappers, they get drowned out. The rappers that are coming with the messages that are really trying to uplift the black community, they get drowned out sooner than later. So with the Queen Latifah era, they're like, sex. Okay? So then that's when the black woman really started, really became exploited in the hip hop industry. And I compared that to Sarah Bartman back in the 18th century. She was part of the, should I pronounce it? Khoi, because my phone's tripping. Tribe. And basically these women were known for their big buttocks, put on display for European men to, you know,
be entertained.
Exactly. And it was displayed. And that is the exact image that popped into my head when I saw that Nicki Minaj ad when she's like squatted down with the heels and just her whole butt out. The lollipop picture. Y'all know.
That was a reenactment of the Lil' Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. But like that's the first thing that popped into my head. It's like, okay, at the end of the day, like Dave Chappelle said, you know, he has turned down gigs before he'll allow himself to be degraded on television. You know, that's always your option. You can turn down this money, just like everyone. Was it who performed for Trump?
Chrisette Michelle.
Like everyone's going in on Chrisette Michelle, and now she has this whole sob story. I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for you because you made your decision. You chose money. So, you know, it's just the fact that the black women are allowing themselves to be degraded in such a manner, and they don't have to. You know, you can use dope lyrics, and if rap doesn't take you where you want it to, you can find another outlet. But this is what our young girls are looking up to. This is why we have butt shots. You know, everyone is altering their bodies because they want to look like what these women are looking. You know what I'm saying? And it's just disheartening because our young black women, there's so many better role models than these female rappers or
Amber Rose.
Yeah.
The ones on TV.
Now, don't get me wrong. I respect Amber Rose's hustle, the whole slut walk.
I'm coming in on that side.
Yeah, I definitely respect that. But there's a different way to go about doing everything. And that's just where.
But I mean, and I'm going to say my quote real quick because I'm sure by now everybody's watched She Gotta Have It, where the little girl was in the classroom with Nola, and I'm not going to say it. It's not up on our list of words we cannot use, but I'm not going to say it. Being a garden tool, basically, in America is big business. And so we know that now.
Yes.
And let's think about that. It's always been big. But first of all, let's act like prostitution didn't exist before Jesus was born. Yeah. Okay? So women have been using their bodies to get what they want for centuries. Thousands of years.
Hardy's got supermodels and they commercials eating burgers.
Come on. Exactly. Sex sells. And why not stay ahead of the game and make the most money off my own body? I'm going to be smart about this.
it just that's on the basis of what I'm saying. You just got to realize what that could come with. It's not necessarily do it or don't do it, because at the end of the day, people gonna do what they want to do. You just
This
have to
is
make people
true.
understand. You know, if you do this, then people gonna say this.
I don't want to
to
pimp. I'll pimp myself.
Yeah, that's how you gonna be portrayed. You know, because everybody has their own reasons why they do stuff.
This is true.
And it usually combats with why everybody else thinks they're doing it. You know.
That's true.
That's true. But and like you were talking about Amber, I have to respect her, because as much as they, shade her and call her out of her name, she used that as a marketing tool for a whole new brand. And now she's making money off of being called out of her name. Like, come on, how smart is that?
Yeah.
If I'm going to be this, I'm going to be a paid this.
Yeah.
She
She just had to sit down, like I said, and realize, like, okay, well, all the negative stuff that'll come out, she probably already had it in her head, like, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
But this is what I got to do.
And it's probably not even true.
Jay-Z said something about he was the first one to go over the hill and then come back and tell everybody what's going on. She probably feel like that's what she was.
We've only known 2 people that she's been with in the industry, and that's Kanye, and, well, 3 now. 3 guys. And she's called out of her name. She's called out of her name for 3 guys.
You got to think about who was the person that called her out of her name. Kanye.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Somebody in their feelings.
Right. So.
But he had such a huge voice, and that really bothered her. Mm-hmm. You were bullied to the point where it broke you down, but you used those same stones and made a house. You know what I'm saying? So I have to respect that. And even before Lil' Kim and
But here's the thing, real quick. Because Amber Rose, she never put herself out. She doesn't exploit herself. She was a model.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put her in that category with them.
But I mean,
but I get what you're saying about her exploiting,
because
that situation.
I even got down here salt and pepper. Salt and pepper, because first of all, I love salt and pepper, but when I went back and listened to the lyrics of Shoop, it was about sexual empowerment. I'm going to step to you. No, that don't make me a garden tool. I'm going to approach you first, and I think you cool. I may not want something serious with you, but hey, you look like you some fun for the night. Okay, let's rock with it.
Yeah, just reverse the role.
Yeah, that's it. And that shouldn't. Yeah, exactly.
It was funny because I was listening to a radio interview with either Salt. I want to say Salt. She's married to an artist from an early rap group.
I can't remember the name, but I know it's true because they had the show about them.
I don't know.
And they were comparing the songs. They compared Shoop to a song that group had, and they're like, "Yo, y'all are both talking about sex in different ways, and it works."
Why can't black women be sexual without being called out of their names?
Because of the perception.
Of what? We're supposed to be dull and boring?
People,
that's a whole nother conversation, y'all.
Yeah, I think when people look, they base it off of everything else that's in society. And they're like, well, this is what I see. Mm-hmm. So they can only correlate it with what they seeing. People all they doing is matching stuff like, okay, I see them doing the A, B, C, D. So when I see a random one in the street, I can only assume that they're doing A, B, C, D. Mm-hmm. Until that person open their mouth and tell me something different, this is how I will feel. Everybody does that with everything.
Yeah.
Try to file it into something.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, we see them doing this, so the ones that we see in regular life, we're going to associate that, we're going to put it together. Yeah. Even though that's not necessarily the best thing to do, but they're going to put it together.
It's human nature to categorize.
Yeah. So it's up to that person to show, like, no, I'm not that. I'm something totally different.
Yeah. Because men face persecution for treating them that way. Well, I mean.
But even when you mention Nola and She's Gotta Have It, when she sat the 3 of them down for that Thanksgiving dinner.
That was crazy. Now, that was bold.
She's my role model. Like.
No, she was crazy.
Well, no, I'm not. I don't live that life. Just throw that out there. But when she sat them all down and she addressed them, all of y'all call me
Yeah.
a garden tool for being sexual. All you ask about each other, and all you call me a garden tool for not being exclusive.
Right.
You know, so why am I a garden tool for acting like a man? And that shut the whole table down. No one had anything to say. So it's okay when guys are out here being sexually explicit. Yeah,
garden tools. I think it's okay. It's just more accepted.
Why?
More accepted because
ladies are
of movies and all that stuff. You've seen it displayed in society over and over and over and over and over again to where you feel like, okay, that's just what it is.
Realistically, women, we pushed ourselves into the position we're in today. We started out as housewives. We're not working. We're in the house. We're making babies. That's what we're here for.
Right.
So I get that viewpoint never changed. That's still how men see us. That's still that's still our main role. We're to make babies, and we're supposed to clean up the house. We're supposed to take care of our men.
But I mean, I have to. And even as ratchet as she is, I have to respect Cardi B's.
Loving to death.
I do. I have to respect her brand in hip hop at this time because she is really raw.
Absolutely.
And only men have been allowed to do that. You know, to be themselves.
Billboard number one.
Right.
Come on.
You know, to say whatever they want to say out of their mouths and just be explicit at all times and unapologetic about it.
Yeah, it's crazy how somebody will look at a feature of somebody that says whatever they say, and it's, I guess,
like, oh yeah.
But Cardi B can talk about something sexual, and it's like, oh my God,
why would she say
why
that?
is she talking like
the
that?
nerve,
but it's like,
right?
These other 20 rappers is doing it on an even worse level.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
right.
You know, it's all.
So I definitely
subjective.
respect her.
I just love everything she stands for. She came from the bottom. She made something out of nothing, and she stays true to herself. That's what I love the most about her. She has not changed, and I don't see her changing.
Yes. How long is it? 3 minutes? What? I don't know what you want me to say.
Well, close it out.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, well, his song is 3 minutes. So we're going to, Ben, I'm going to address you later. He's being ridiculous. He wants to argue right now.
No, let's. We got 2 minutes to argue with Ben real quick.
I'm arguing with Ben.
He said garden tool empowerment, huh? Okay, I can dig it.
No, he can't because he's gonna end up in Facebook jail again.
Men face persecution for treating women like garden tools. Do you agree?
Yes. Look at the news right now. Everybody's going down.
They can.
Yes.
They can.
Everybody's going down. I bet you'll be mindful of how you treat women now. Like I told my grandfather tonight, if you wouldn't say to do it to your mother or your sister, don't do it to another woman. That's ridiculous.
Agreed.
4 minutes, y'all. So we gonna close out our show with Smooth. Smooth, tell us what song you closing us out on. Tell us a little bit of background so we can ride out to it.
Well, this song is called Who Loves You. It's on my latest EP, The Green Village. It's basically a song about love. I'm talking about people I love.
Alrighty then. Make sure it's turned all the way up. I don't know how to work your phone.
It's up.
It's up. Auxiliary 2. I don't know, Dave. You gotta help me out here. I'm a little blind. There you go. All right.
All right. So stay tuned for this hotness we have coming through your airwaves right now.
I can hear it. What was it? At the end. Okay.
Turn the lights off. Yeah, so you always have to monitor those so that they're right where they're.
Okay. So that is, this was the
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one is off. This one is computer edited. We can go back to.
Yeah, I couldn't see. I need my glasses.
We definitely might do another
We are
part two.
either vain or we are functional.
Man, listen, I'm struggling right now. Okay, add a third category of that. Oh my God. I think it is on. Okay. Yeah, it was dope. Why? It was dope. Thank you so much. Why you always just yelling out random stuff?